This is Comic Geek Speak, episode 34. This is Comic Geek Speak, a proud member of the Comics Podcast Network. I'm Brian Deemer.
I'm Jamie D.
I'm Matt.
I'm Shane Kelly.
I'm Peter Rios.
We are sexy bitches, yeah!
Every once in a while, we got to go a little old school here.
And I love the music that you put in the background of that.
That's just from the movie.
Is that from the movie? Because before I didn't think I heard that the first couple
Yeah,
times.
that's right. It's whatever's happening in the movie.
Yeah,
I didn't get that fancy. Are you kidding me? I'm too lazy. So, episode 34. Welcome back. And I'm gonna go right into listener email here. We got a doozy today. It actually just came in today. This one's from Chris Vaccaro. I think he's actually sent us an email before. He says, "Sup, guys. It's been so long since I've written that I feel compelled to apologize. Rest assured that I haven't missed an episode, although I've been behind and have finally caught up. The show is better than ever, and I honestly look forward to it like little else. I've just gotten a new job that's an hour away from home, and the drive is almost the best part as I get to geek out with the CGS crew. And I knew it had become so good when I found myself humming the theme song at work a few days ago.
That's great.
So much has been talked about recently that I've wanted to comment on, and I'm sure I'll forget some in this, but here we go. San Diego. I've never been, and of course have always wanted to. Last night I bought my tickets.
Yeah.
I'll be there and would love to hang out with everyone. I'll be in town Wednesday for the preview night. Don't know what that's all about, but I plan to do it big. I would like some advice on a hotel, though. It looks like all the ones recommended by the con are booked up, and the ones I've found on my own are way expensive. Where the hell are the hookers taking their tricks in San Diego?" You know what? In San Diego, they're probably not. Just go to Tijuana, and then you can probably stay for like $3 a night, but you'll probably get a disease. So just be careful there. Actually, you're probably, at this point, I mean, I am by no means an expert on San Diego, but I would guess that the ones in the several block radius around the convention center are done. So you'd probably have to go on the outskirts. Anywhere where the trolley goes, it's really, really easy to move around. It goes basically north and south. So you can go south from Center City there, and you go down to Chula Vista or San Isidro, which is they're like little towns. Well, they're not little. Chula Vista is huge. It's kind of, Chula Vista is kind of like in the middle of San Diego. It's just another area. It's still part of San Diego. And then down right on the border is San Isidro. And so anywhere along the trolley, if you can find a hotel, that would be easy. Just go, if you look up San Diego Trolley online, they have their official website, and it'll show you the map and all the stops. And if you kind of look at that map, you might be able to find some hotels that are along there, because the trolley is only a couple minutes from the convention center. And even if you're as far as the border, it's like a 45-minute trolley ride, but it's only like $2 to ride the trolley, so it's easy. That's my only advice. I'll keep going here. I would also like to say that, yes, indeed, Jamie is the shiznit pimp of the cast, and I've been imagining him as Del Toro since day one. Hearing another listener write in with the same suspicion was just one of several such moments. The show is a conduit for mind melt. So, Jamie, you're
really
another super fan.
Yeah.
I only wish I was the director of Hellboy. That would be so great, but I am not. Honestly.
But you're the shiznit pimp.
Got
man.
that right. My pimp hand is strong.
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
That's right.
All right. I just realized this is getting really scattered. That's not an apology so much as a warning. On the subject of favorite runs, and I'm not sure if entire series count, no one ever mentions Transmetropolitan. How can you not love Hunter S. Thompson meets Johnny Mnemonic? And while I'm on Ellis, Planetary is stellar. Alan Moore's Promethea is high art brought down to the mortals. The whole ABC line, for that matter, is not to be missed or dismissed. Morrison's Animal Man is a self-aware mind-bender. Sandman, enough said. And I must mention Moore's Swamp Thing again. No one but Moore could make us love a plant. Okay, moving on. I'd really like to hear a book of the month on McLeod's Understanding Comics, or just a show on the art form itself, the craft of comics and how the masters make magic out of words and pictures. Wax literary for me, guys. I was also wondering if I could get a must-read and must-own list from each of the crew. I wouldn't want them limited at all, and of course they could be ongoing. Maybe put links to them on the website and update them as you see fit. I'm always in the market to expand my collection and would really appreciate the direction. Okay, I guess I'll stop this now before it gets too thick in here. See you in San Diego. Long live the geeks, Chris. And he says, P.S. Am I the only one falling in love with Catherine from Philly? Yeah, she does. She's keeping it real for the female fans, and she's the proud voice, I think, of our female listeners. So, that it's a good thing for us too to know that we have female listeners who enjoy the show.
We actually, I think on the forum, don't we have like a whole must read kind of thing? I think there's like
it was one of our first posts that we did. It's probably back a few pages on the forum, but we listed a bunch of our favorite things. And
I just bumped up a few threads actually for the new people. One of them was like top 5 artists. The other one was top 5 trades, which then kind of got into top 5 comedy trades, top 5 something else trades. So if you go to the forum, you'll definitely get that from us, and we can certainly start a new one or whatever. But yeah, I think there was a couple threads like that.
Cool. All right, I'm going to move out of email for now. We'll go back a little later. And I'm going to pose a question to my fellow geeks here. What are your, we always say top 5, so what are your top 5 miniseries? And I'm going to define miniseries as 6 issues or less, and just an actual limited series, not 6 issues within a comic run, but just a 6-issue or less limited series. So I guess I can go first since I posed the question.
I don't know. Peter never does. He always makes us do it.
And then he goes last, and then he never actually goes.
I'll just leave it for you guys.
I'll just leave it for you, Dad.
I'll go first. You want me to go first?
Go first.
I'll go first.
It only matters when it's your question.
Now you'll steal them. Now you'll steal all my answers.
No, you won't have any of these.
Oh, you think?
Maybe 1 or 2, but I'm going to throw out Twilight 1 through 3 by Howard Chaykin and Jose Luis Garcia Lopez. Twilight was a 3-issue prestige format miniseries, I want to say late 80s, and what it did was combine all of DC's future space characters into this one huge sprawling story. It had like Tommy Tomorrow, it had there was a cameo by Iron Wolf, I think the Star Rovers. There was also Star Hawkins. There were all these, really obscure characters from like either Strange Adventures or Mystery in Space. I'm not sure which one it was, and he just combined them all into this huge story, and it was really kind of cool and fantastic artwork. And then I'm going to go a little more current and say JLA Titans 3-issue miniseries by Devin Grayson and Phil Jimenez. And that just goes to everything that I love about comics, Titans and Phil Jimenez and huge, all thousands of characters. This was the start of the Titans series, which then eventually morphed into the Jeff Johns Teen Titans series. But it just was a fun book. I'm going to put down Ambush Bug 1 through 4 by Keith Giffen.
I knew you were going to put that down.
I think also probably Robert Lauren Fleming was also involved in that. It's, again, an 80s book, I think in 1984 or 5 or something like that. It is hilarious. It is just absolutely hilarious. Ambush Bug in his first few appearances was kind of weird. He was like a villain, and then he got a little really maniacal. And this was the miniseries that really solidified his character. And it is just hysterical. There's no story. Darkseid's in every cliffhanger. There are just random panels of just sheer silliness. What else?
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Peter. I came across that under your recommendation a couple years ago, and unlike some other funny books that don't hold up or were more topical when they came out, this one really, really held up, I thought.
Yeah.
It was very funny. And again, the more you know about the DC Universe, the funnier it actually is. So
I'm sure at some point listening to Peter talk about it, I'm going to find it and read it. I have yet
Well,
to.
I
Oh,
mean,
definitely, you have
you'll
to.
find them in 50-cent bins.
That's
It's
crazy.
not like it's a huge book, but you definitely track them. If you see them, get them.
Yeah, it is hysterical. I'm going to throw out Books of Magic 1 through 4 by Neil Gaiman and 4 different artists. I'm not quite sure who they were. John Bolton was one of them. I'm not sure the other 3. It was the first appearance and the introduction of Tim Hunter and the Trenchcoat Brigade, as they became known. John Constantine, Phantom Stranger, Dr. Occult, and Mr. E. And that was another, I guess that appealed to my history stuff, because it had like a whole history of magic in the DC universe, and it had a really cool, it also was like basically an origin of the whole entire DC universe from the past to the future. And it was a really great story. It kicked off a whole new, character, and it was beautifully painted, and that was really kind of cool.
I think Mike. I'm trying to think as you're talking. I think Mike Zulli did something with that too.
Maybe.
I don't know why, because I read it too. And it was good.
Yeah, it was very good. Well, I was gonna. I can't put that because that's 8 issues. I was gonna put Adam Strange, but and we've talked about that enough. I'll throw out, which may be on somebody's list, Green Hour, The Longbow Hunters.
That is very good.
1 through 3.
That is very good. I forgot about that one.
Yeah.
That is very good.
Mike Grell. It was after the whole Dark Knight Returns thing. They were really making superheroes adult, and it was a prestige format miniseries. In fact, most of these are.
Yeah.
It was when prestige format actually meant something, and it just was a really good story. And,
It was a good Green Arrow story.
Yeah, and it really kind of brought him down to where they would put him for the next couple years. Very urban, not urban, but human, less superhero-y.
Yeah.
And kind of messed up. Well, you got to read it, but it was good and beautifully drawn. Just
Oh, yes.
absolutely beautifully drawn.
Who
Mike Grell.
Mike Grell, he wrote it and
Everything,
I
yeah.
couldn't remember.
Yeah,
That-
great
that was very good.
artwork. So that's my 5.
All right, I'm going to go. I currently only have 4 on my list because even though I had the question prepared, I didn't actually
Right.
go through my comics, and I just shot off the top of my head, and I came up with 4. I mean, there are others that, of course, are obvious, like Dark Knight Returns, but I try to put some stuff that's more personal.
Sure.
So I put Death, the High Cost of Living, because I remember when that came out, it blew me away. It's still a great story, and Chris Pacello artwork, and it's a classic. Machine Man, that 4-issue miniseries is great. It's just fun and it's cool. Barry Windsor Smith. Yeah, so that's probably one of the biggest reasons why I like it. And
I was going to say, as soon as you said it, I was like, oh, Barry Windsor Smith.
Yeah, big surprise there. I'm going to say it, even though it's a classic now, is Marvel's, because it's so good that even though it's probably it would be on everybody's top 5 list, I had to put it down anyway. And the 4th one I have is Daredevil, Man Without Fear. It's absolutely awesome miniseries.
Romita Jr.
Yeah, and Frank Miller, and it tells the Daredevil, it retells the Daredevil origin, and it's Romita Jr.'s best artwork ever, and the story is so powerful. Even though you already knew the story, it's still incredibly emotional and powerful. And
it was one of the times when my patheticness comes through, and you look at Elektra in that, and it's just like, God damn.
yeah,
I want a woman that looks just like
The
that.
scene where she's running in the snow and she's dropping her clothes.
So it's like, oh
Yeah.
my lord, boing.
Yeah, that's your. It's funny. Like, I'm not the hugest Daredevil fan, but I enjoy the character. But that storyline, I was like, wow. Now I can see why people really love this character.
and that's when it shows you the potential of that character.
Yeah.
And for me, the current Bendis run he's exploring the full potential of the character, and it's not just a guy in a red suit fighting crime. There's more to it than that, and that's when Daredevil is really cool. I mean, and I like I said, that's only 4. So I got another one floating out there somewhere. Maybe by the end it'll come to me, or So who wants to go next?
I'll go next. I actually hate when you just throw it out there because I totally lose my train of thought of anything. But I'm going to put out Superman for All Seasons, mostly because of the art team and writing team more than anything else, because I like some of the things that they did better, but they're longer, so I can't put them on this list. But I loved reading Superman for All Seasons. That was a lot of fun. Kingdom Come. That's one of my favorites. I've read and reread that, and I bought the tape cassettes, and I've listened to it over and over, and I wish they could do more like that. I wasn't too keen on the Kingdom one-shots, or however you say it, but Kingdom Come was one of my favorites. I am going to put Dark Knight Returns on mine, just because the Batman freak that I am. And at first, I can remember seeing it on the stands and thinking, what the hell is this? Look at this artwork. I can't stand it. So I didn't buy it. And then like a year later, I'm like, that kind of looks interesting. And I bought it, and I loved it. And I feel like an ass that I didn't buy it at first.
Did you get the first issue cover price? Or
No. I paid about $13 for it.
Oh, even that's not bad.
Yeah. That was about a year
For
after.
what?
For number one, Dark Knight Returns number one.
Oh,
And that was back in
especially
the day.
a year later.
Yeah, I bought the trade, and then the store I was going to had the other three very reasonable. I bought them, and then they bought a collection and had it in there and put $13 on it. And maybe it was because I knew them, but still, I was.
I was
thrilled.
seeing that at like $50. Like,
Yeah.
that was insane what they were going for.
Yeah. I'm going to say Emerald Dawn, the first miniseries. I enjoyed that. Formerly known as Justice League, just because they brought the characters back in the way that I like them, all satirical and funny. I think that's my 5. 1, 2. Yeah, I guess that's my 5. Cool. Had some others, maybe honorable mention, The Nail, Alan Davis.
Oh no! Let Jamie go.
I'll let Jamie
He's
go.
freaking out.
If Matt wants to go next, go ahead. Okay. Yeah, that was on my damn list. It's like, shut up. Let me say The Nail. No, The Nail. Alan Davis.
Take it easy, Guillermo.
Just fabulous artwork. You can put another Nail on top, although it wasn't quite as good as The Nail was, I thought. You had already said Kingdom Come. Which,
Sorry.
That's all right. That's all right, because that was on my list. Marvels, as Brian had put. And not much else to say. The first time I saw any artwork from the Marvels, we had gotten, when I was working at the Golden Eagle comic book store, we had gotten a tape from Marvel, and it was like their upcoming projects. And man, it's the picture of Giant Man crossing the street. And I saw that picture and I was like, God damn. And anybody I would tell, I would say, watch for Marvels. This is going to be great. This is going to be fantastic stuff. That was really the first time I had really ever seen any Alex Ross artwork. And you weren't disappointed. The writing was great. The artwork was great. It was even fun going through and trying to pick out who the individual people were and who the monkeys in the back or the Beatles in the background of Sue and Reed's wedding, and Tony Stark was Timothy Dalton and all that kind of stuff. So that was great. Some more personal ones for me are the Rocket Raccoon miniseries from Marvel. Some people go, Rocket Raccoon, wasn't that the Beatles song? But no, this came out of the Hulk. It was an alternate dimension. Of course, Raccoon, he was a space traveler, adventurer. And the reason it was written by Bill Mantlo, who was writing the Hulk at that time. And the artwork was early Mike Mignola. And actually, as far as I'm concerned, I love Hellboy. I love the stuff he does. It's the best artwork he has ever done, period. It's so different from his Hellboy stuff, but so good. If you find it anywhere, you see it in a, because it's no more than $1, 50 cents to $1 an issue. You see it, get it. They've never traded it, but I would definitely get it if you saw it. And I'm trying to think, there was one more, because this was kind of just thrown at us. there was one more, and I can't think of it, so I'm going to throw it to Matt and let him do his since he was smart enough to write them down. I didn't write them down. Maybe you can come back to me.
I have to say that Marvels, if I wouldn't have had to put formerly known as Marvels, would have been on there. That I really enjoyed that so much. That was my first Alex Ross as well.
Well, I'd have to say, first of all, one of the ones that can't make the list is World's Finest that came out years ago. It was a 12-issue part, but there was this one issue in particular that really made me like that series, where it was shortly after Jason Todd had been killed, and Batman wanted revenge to kill the Joker, and Superman kind of showed up and said, you know, you can't be this way. And it turns out that this was just after he came back, I think before or after Exiles, where it turns out that he pretty much just let people die, and then Batman found that out, and he was pretty pissed off. But that can't make the list because that's 12, not 6. So I have a Moon Knight story, High Strangers, which came out, the miniseries after his resurrection, and that was a nice reading because it was like the first series of Moon Knight, kind of some reminiscing of that. Late one that came out not too long ago, Army of Darkness, Ashes to Ashes, which kind of picks up after Army of Darkness, and I just kind of like those movies, so it's nice, even though you're reading it, but still picturing Bruce Campbell reading those lines and those characters in each panel. Dark Knight Returns, but you know we already discussed that one. Deadly Foes of Spider-Man. I gotta tell you, I don't remember too much about the story. I just really remember the advertisement with a picture of Spider-Man to get there, and I believe it says something along the lines of the what, and surprised as to what the name of this title was. So I thought that was pretty good. Batman the Cult. I thought it was a very good story.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Bernie writes an artwork.
I've never read that.
That's good.
That's
good.
extremely good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of those stories like Dark Knight
That was
Returns.
That was
four
the big
issues of
follow-up to
Prestige
that.
edition.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
I think that was the first Prestige after Dark Knight Returns. Like that was the ooh wow, they're doing it again.
Those two stories I can read over and over, and it's like I'm reading it for the first time. Pretty much
It's
hit
because
'em
you were
on.
mind wiped in between each
That's
ones, right?
exactly
Yeah.
right. Those bastards. That's why I had to help with OMAC. But anyways, I digress. Oh, that's right. Joker's Last Laugh. It was kind of ridiculous. The only thing I think I really liked that storyline was at the very last issue, where Nightwing actually kills Joker, but he was brought back, and then that actually to me really made that storyline, because then Nightwing kind of goes off and has to find himself to see, you know, is he really a killer after everything that Joker's done to the Bat family. I just like, you know, it's kind of interesting that you'd never think Nightwing would be the one to kill anybody, and then for him to do it, just I thought was pretty good.
I thought of a fifth one here. JSA: The Liberty Files.
Oh yeah.
It was a 2-issue Prestige format mini. Very, very good. Beautiful
Dan
artwork.
Jolly and is
Yeah.
it Tony Harris or
Yeah, it was Tony Harris. Just
They had a sequel
gorgeous.
to that then too, didn't they?
Yeah, they did, and you can get there's one trade now that collects both.
Oh wow.
So it's the 4 issues all in one trade.
I don't think I got the second one. I think I passed on
I
that.
didn't get the second one either, but I don't know why. It was just I didn't want to spend the money at the
Yeah,
time, and
yeah.
now I'm like, damn it, it was so good.
Yeah, but now there's a
Yeah,
trade.
I picked up the trade. I did remember it, and it's very weird, and only people who want to walk this line with me go seek this series out. But it was Bill Sienkiewicz's Stray Toasters. Very, very strange. It was the Epic Line, Marvel Epic Line Prestige series, 4 issues. And I can't describe it. I mean, I read it, and it was just so groundbreaking at the time I read it, and I just loved it. But I can't really describe it to you. It's one of those that if you trust my opinion, go seek it out. You might like it. If you like really avant-garde storytelling, and at times it's one of those books, kind of like if you've ever read Arkham Asylum, where you have different colors for different people speaking. He kind of does that too. You finally realize midway through, at least I did, that okay, that's you finally realize okay, he's talking here, he's in blue. This character is in red. This character is in white, and that's the way you kind of go. It's very weird, but it's worth the trip once you go.
And then go see your movie Hellboy.
Yes, and see my movie Hellboy. Hellboy 2 coming out soon.
I'm going to throw out because a lot of people always think, well, they've been saying we haven't been talking about Marvel a lot, and they probably think that I hate Marvel.
Because Marvel sucks right now.
Yeah, well,
we
we
discussed
talked
that
about
last podcast, and We defunct that rumor.
So with this top 5 miniseries, I'm going to give Marvel the due that they deserve, because in 1984, 85, 86, I think it's 84, 85, they put out a slew of miniseries, and they were all kind of fun, and they were all really kind of cool. Machine Man, like you said.
Tell me if you're going to say the Falcon.
I'm going to say the Falcon
All right.
by Christopher Priest, then known as Jim Owsley. Magic, the 4-issue Magic series by
Ileana?
Chris Claremont and one of the Buscemi brothers, maybe? I forget.
I think that's one of your trivia questions.
Yeah. Jack of Hearts, very, very goofy, but a lot of fun. Yep. Hercules, Prince of Power, with that wisecracking scroll that he was going around with. Cloak and Dagger, Rick Leonardi artwork.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hawkeye, where he by the end, who did? Mark Grunwald did that. He did the writing and the art, I think, on that, which I thought was very weird. When I was like, "Whoa, really?" Nightcrawler, Iceman, all those X-Men versus Fantastic Four, or Mephisto versus everybody, I think.
FF versus X-Men, Avengers versus X-Men.
Yeah, I mean, those were a little. X-Men and Micronauts.
Mm-hmm.
They were a little goofy, but they, and I know I'm missing a whole bunch more. But
Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, yeah,
That's right, with Dazzler and the Beast.
It was a little later, but do you remember the? I think it was 2 issues. Havoc and Wolverine. It was Bill Sienkiewicz artwork, and that was real trippy. That was cool. I remember that the Falcon, because it was, I believe it was the first Wizard World Philly, or no, it wasn't even Wizard World Philly. It was some podunk convention in Philly. No, it was recent. It was like 2001. Or
It was. It was.
It was one of those on Passyunk Ave.
One of the Bill Greenberg. They wanted a big one in Philly. They did it 1 year, because that was at the one where we met Simonson, and
no,
that wasn't that one.
No, okay. It was one of those. It was just one of those ones at the Holiday Inn down in Philly.
Okay.
And Kevin went, and I thought you went too. And you were talking about, or maybe it was Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe my buddy Mike went.
That was a big Spillane. He loved the Falcon.
Yeah, so it was Mike and Kevin were talking about the Falcon. And at first I thought they were kidding, because I just looked, it just looked cheesy in it, whatever. And they're like, no, it's really, really good. And it was in the 50-cent bin. It was 4-issue series, so I spent $2, and I read it. I'm like, this is really good.
Yeah.
So.
And that's why when I keep pushing the Black Panther run, those characters, the Turk, the guy named Turk, that cop who's just absolute. If you want to read a funny guy who just absolutely rips Captain America apart during that series, I mean, he's so funny with. He thinks, well, you got to read. He thinks that Captain America is just like some fly-by-night superhero, and he's like, yo, just hang in the back. I'll take care of this. And all of a sudden, whoop, Captain America is like jumping over his head and taking care of business. It's so good, and those characters pop up in Black Panther. Yeah. So I love that Falcon.
Well, and I'm enjoying. I read the first trade of the new Captain America Falcon series, and it was pretty enjoyable. And the second trade's on its way, so when I get that, I'll see. And you know what I just read? That I really liked was I just read the 2 most recent trades of the Green Arrow, and it's just really good.
Oh yeah.
Like I bought it when Kevin Smith started the new series, and then I bought the first run by
Brad Meltzer.
Meltzer. And then I just needed to cut back on some books, so I dropped Green Arrow because it didn't feel crucial to read it. But now that I'm back on my trade kick, they had them offered and they were cheap, and I went, oh okay, I'll get them. And it's just fun. It's not real deep. It's not real heavy hitting or anything. It's just fun superhero action, and it was like, oh, this is great.
Yeah, I've stuck with that series the whole time, and I'm glad I did. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and I like that artwork. What's that guy's name? Phil Hester?
Phil Hester.
Yeah, he's nice and clean. It's kind of cartoony but fun,
Yeah, since we're going on the miniseries, I just read, I guess it's issue 3 or 4 of the Lex Luthor Man of Steel. I got it DCBS again, had it for like 75 cents for the first one, and I got suckered in, and I just kept getting it. It's Brian Azzarello, and I can't think of the guy who's doing the artwork. It's really good artwork, though.
Isn't it like Lee Bermejo or something?
Yeah, I think that's. I was thinking that, but I didn't want to say it without somebody backing me up.
I got your back.
But it's really, I mean, it's very Glenn Fabry-esque, if you know Glenn Fabry's artwork. And it just, this last one was just, I'm still trying to figure out exactly where in continuity this series goes, but it's really good, and this last one was, without putting any spoilers into it, was Lex Luthor going to Gotham, talking to Bruce Wayne, not Batman, talking to Bruce Wayne, giving him kryptonite, and trying to get him to join him because of Superman. What happens if Superman is too powerful? What happens if Superman one day wakes up and decides that it's his way or the highway? And Superman was in it, and they had a whole Batman thing. It was just really good, and at the end, basically Bruce Wayne says, "Okay, I'm in." And I want to see where they're going with it, and I highly recommend it. If you're going to wait for the trade, wait for the trade. The issue shouldn't be too hard to find. I don't think that it's that popular, but I definitely highly recommend it if you find it somewhere cheap.
Your Wonder Twin is trying to get me to read that ever since Wizard World Philly. Jamie of Earth 2, he loved it. He recommends it like crazy.
Yeah, it's really nice artwork and an interesting story so far.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have something that I'd like to discuss here. At Wizard World Philly, one of the things that they had in our little bag of goodies was from the pages of Wizard, top 100 trade paperbacks of all time. And I have some issues with some of the order that they have some of these in. I mean, it's not horrible. Figuring out where you rank 100 trades can be challenging.
Can I ask, do they clarify, is this by, like, story or by, like, what's included in the trade? Like, how do you know? Like,
What the
is
criteria
that
was.
also part of the plan? Do you know?
That's a good question. I don't know. I didn't read any
Just may have been
fine
trade
print.
paperback. Period.
I didn't consider their rules. I just went right in and
Yeah.
started looking at the numbers.
Because I mean, I know you're going to go through them, but like especially because of the top 10, it seems like it should be story, especially with what they have as number one. But
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
All right. I'll start with 1 and work up to 10, and then I'll jump around through the numbers and where I think some of the discrepancies are here. Number 1, Mouse: A Survivor's Tale. Personally, I have never read Mouse. I've heard nothing but good things about it, and considering it's about the Holocaust and everything, and it's heavy hitting, and it's like, I guess I can see how they would put it at number 1.
Well, it did win a Pulitzer Prize, so
Yeah.
kinda,
Well, Pulitzer, Smolitzer.
yeah, gosh, I actually have read it, and it's
So,
fantastic.
Yeah.
And if you ever want to borrow it, Brian, just let me know, and you got it.
Someday I will read it. I
Is
guess.
there-
No. Go
So,
ahead.
is there a second part to that too? I thought.
Yeah,
There are 2 books.
Yeah. Okay.
2 books make it up.
Number 2, Watchmen, which, many people think is the be-all to end-all of comic books, and I have some issues with that personally, but that's...
I like it, but there are other things that are better to me.
Yeah, that's... I mean, I read it after all the hype, and I went, well, okay, it was interesting, and I'm sure I'll get more out of it the next time I read it, but I certainly have many other books that I would read way before
It's
I would
one
read
that
that one.
it suffers because of so many other things have tried to become Watchmen that it's not new anymore. Especially like if you're only reading it now, I think that's why it suffers. But
No,
Yeah, it was the first time really that they did. You talked about. I can't remember exactly what you were talking about, but more adult story, and that's really the first time I really read, even Batman Dark Knight Returns.
Mhm.
This is really the first time that they really dealt with a lot of subjects you didn't deal with. You didn't deal with rape. You didn't deal with just some of the other
the consequences of being an anti-hero.
Yeah, an alcoholic. The big hero, the comedian, was an alcoholic rapist, and that wasn't dealt with.
No, I mean I understand all that, and I still think it's a good story. I just, I guess I'm more into books that fit into the major universes, so it always kind of.
I would have liked to seen him been able to do everything with the Charlton characters. I mean, it wasn't a far leap with what he did, but I think that was always what it was intended to be for, and I would have loved to see it like that.
Like when you read, I'm kind of curious to get that Absolute Watchmen because
Yeah.
they're going to have like a whole bunch of his stuff. But I don't think we would have gotten the same story.
No?
No, because he said because he couldn't use those, he was actually freed a little bit.
Oh,
And
wow.
I think this is a book that definitely down the road we'll have to do for Book of the Month because there's so much to say
Oh, I'm
about
sure.
it.
Oh, yeah,
sure.
yeah.
All right, and then number 3 is Dark Knight Returns. You know, because those, I mean,
Yeah.
Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns are always mentioned in the same breath as two of the best comics ever. So I'll give him that. Number 4, Sandman Volume 4, Seasons of the Mist. Seasons of Mist. Isn't it Season of the Mist?
I think
Or is
it's
it Season
Seasons
of Mist?
Season of Mist.
Season of Mist.
Who knows?
Oh, I thought. Anyway, I mean, Sandman certainly belongs on the list somewhere.
Yeah, and that's I've always said that's my favorite story.
And then number 5, Ultimate Spider-Man Volume 1. Now, this might be the first one where I think it's a little out of place. I love the entire Ultimate Spider-Man series. But
Well,
to put it at number 5...
What's number 6? Just so we can see what
Batman Year 1. That's what I mean. It's like, now...
I mean, I've actually read a lot of that Ultimate Spider-Man off the Marvel website. They had like a lot of the issue, and it was very good. It is not
better
top
than Year
10,
1. Right,
yeah.
no, it's
No.
not top 10 material. And then I'll go on. Number 7 is Daredevil Born Again, which of course is, no way is that not as good as Ultimate Spider-Man. And then 8 is Marvel's. Again, I mean, to me,
Ultimate Spider-Man should not be in.
no, to me, I would put Marvel's all the way down at number 1, or something. But
It's called Brian Michael Bendis. If you're going to do that, then put Powers there.
well, right.
I mean,
Right.
that's
Powers is on the list somewhere, but it's way higher up. Let me find it here. It's
And by the way, it is according to the DC's previews, it's Season of Mists.
okay.
So just to clarify.
Jeez, I can't even find the Powers. My eyes.
I
just
read
must
that
be-
first Powers trade paperback. Maybe again I suffered from the hype, but I was like,
I personally didn't care for
Retro. Who killed
Yeah,
Retro
Who Killed
Girl?
Retro Girl?
Oh, I loved it.
all that much. I actually like some of the ones after that one. I liked a little more.
What's that?
it's
should
there
be on the
somewhere.
list.
Yeah, somewhere.
What?
What we were just talking
Yeah, I'm trying to find it, but my eyes are skimming over it. I think.
And I've said this before. I'm personally not a fan of like overly cartoony styles like Michael Owen, Avon Oming, or Phil Hester. I think they're great. I can understand why they're good, but my preferences lean towards other styles.
Well, I think when Powers first came out, and I even told Mike Oming this at the convention because I spoke to him, and I said, I got to tell you, when I first saw that you were going to be the artist on Powers, I had real hesitation because I thought, this Brian Michael Bendis, dirty, gritty crime stories, and this really cartoony artwork, and I said, I thought it was going to suck, man. I got to tell you, but actually.
When did he punch you?
No, he didn't.
I'm kidding.
He just he had listened to what I had to say, and then I said, but I realized after reading a couple issues that it fit quite well with the way the story is written, and I really like it. Like I wouldn't want him. He's writing. He's written a lot of Thor, but I wouldn't want him to draw Thor. It wouldn't work for Thor, but for Powers it works.
Sure.
And so. Okay, I can't find where the freaking Powers is. But number 9 is Superman. Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow?
Oh,
I haven't read it.
That's good. That's really good.
Number 10 is X-Men: The Dark Phoenix Saga, which is very good. Number 11 is The Golden Age. But see, now I would have to put Golden Age above Dark Phoenix Saga, even though Dark Phoenix Saga is a classic X-Men story. Golden Age is so powerful, like that. I don't know.
The scariest thing is, I have not read one of these that he's listed.
Get out.
You've read all of
I've
them?
read everything you've said so far.
Oh,
I think I read everything.
I
except
just haven't read
for-
the Mouse
I haven't read the Mouse.
and the Superman. Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow?
Let me see which one. I think I've read them all. Seasons of Mist. I haven't. Read
I thought
that.
you had
I'm
said
not there
you
yet.
didn't read. I'm like, what? Wait
No,
a minute.
Yeah, I was like, what the hell?
I've read
Well,
every one of those.
I'll
so
say
far.
this though about X-Men: Dark Phoenix Saga, why it could probably take more, or to keep its placement in that, is that they were writing a story, but their mindset wasn't that this was an event or this was like a.
It was just a
It
couple
just
more
was a
issues of
story.
X-Men.
Right. They were like, let's just write. They were just doing their job, and then it was after that you started to get like Judas Contract, Great Darkness Saga. Like you started to get actual 5-part, 4-part storylines, and then of course it exploded
in
from
the
there.
middle of
but,
runs.
Yeah, but so I think that's why it was for me. It could get a place in history high up because of that. Just such a good story that just happened.
12 was X-Men Days of Future Past. Another case of that, where they were just doing a story within the story. There was no crossover. It was just X-Men.
That's only like 2 issues, though, right? It's like 2 issues where they go in the future, and
I think altogether it's like 3 or 4.
Yeah. 13 was Swamp Thing, Volume 1, Saga of the Swamp Thing. That's the first Alan Moore stuff, right? Not the very first Swamp Thing.
right.
13, they have, or 14, they have Miracle Man Volume 3, which is no longer in print, they say, but...
Well, right there, I haven't read that one.
yeah.
No, you haven't read any Miracle Man?
I've read Miracle Man, but not Volume 3, and I haven't... Those are the ones that are like $20, $30 at the
Right.
shows, and
Yeah.
I...
Come on, Marvel, get those trades
Yeah,
out
I was
already.
just saying, waiting
Get
them.
those
Yeah,
out.
I'm dying to get those. I've never read any Miracle
Because
Man.
once they come out, all those older ones will start to come down, and everybody will start releasing all the issues they have, and
Yeah.
I can't wait to get them.
15, Peter, New Teen Titans, The Judas Contract.
Nice.
And then I'm going to jump around here a little bit where I see some more inconsistencies here. I'm going to go all the way up to 47. Okay, no, I'm at 45, New X-Men E for Extinction. Okay, that's part of the Grant Morrison run.
Mm-hmm.
But then 47, and Jamie, get ready to swear, is Thor Visionaries Walter Simonson. Now,
Wow.
I mean, how can you put...
By
That wasn't me,
Odin.
that wasn't me.
How can you put that Grant Morrison mess of X-Men
It's not a
above
mess.
Walter Simonson's Thor?
It was a mess when you were reading it month to month.
Walt Simonson's story should be in the top 25.
Hell yeah.
That's,
or top
I
30.
mean, for me, I've already said that's one of my top 5 runs,
Yeah.
period.
Right.
E for Extinction, I didn't mind that much. That was of what Grant Morrison did. That was before he got so convoluted it wasn't funny. But no, that should definitely be higher.
I don't even
for
think
me.
that should be on the top 100 list. Because it's not even
Well,
one
it
of the
was
better stories in
Well,
that
it was the
run.
first one, I thought.
Yeah, but it's not. You know what
so
I mean?
I think that's the only reason they put that on because
Wow.
it was the first one, and everybody
There's so many.
loves Grant
Oh,
Morrison.
Powers is number 72 on
Jeez.
the list.
Yeah.
And they have, and this is the other one. We just talked about it. Number 67, Daredevil, The Man Without Fear. And what's at number 60? Infinity Gauntlet. Now, I mean, I was younger when I read Infinity Gauntlet, in my early teens or whatever, and so that was cool because it had like
Sure.
all the heroes and it was this great cosmic thing and it was kind of neat.
But better than
But to
Man.
be better than Man Without Fear, I mean that's freaking a sin, I want to bitch slap whoever this guy at Wizard was, Mike Cotton or whoever the hell it was at Wizard who conceived this list. Come on.
They usually get a whole bunch of people
Yeah,
to do
well,
this.
they should all have their heads examined.
That way you can spread the blame around.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else is a little wonky here? Number 89 is Batman Arkham Asylum. I think that should be higher. And
That's not even a trade, it's a graphic novel.
yeah, well, you can buy it as a trade paperback now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And number 92, Cerebus Volume 2, High Society, which I think is the best of the Cerebus trades. And that's all the way at 92. I mean, I would think it has to be in the top 50.
Well, if it's not a Bendis independent book, they don't like to spotlight independent books. That's...
I know. Because they put Daredevil Yellow, which is good, at 29. But no, you flip-flop
Better
that
than
with Man
Wow.
Without Fear. No way is
way,
it better than
no
Man
way.
Without Fear. It's just like they got this all wrong here. I don't know. Number 28, Spider-Man, Nothing Can Stop the Juggernaut. What issues does that collect? Is that some old Stan Lee stuff?
No, I think it's like 80s stuff
Really?
when he fought the Juggernaut.
God, where's Kevin when we need him?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Was that with X-Force?
I don't know.
I know there was one
Oh, that
trade where it
crossover
had-
with Rob Lano.
it had X-Force in it, and
God.
they went up against the Juggernaut. Because one of the guys stabbed him in the eye.
Yeah.
I forgot what the heck that guy's name was.
Oh, here's how you know. Here's how you know somebody paid off somebody to get on this list. I just saw it, number 62. Now we just got done saying 67 was Daredevil, Man Without Fear. 62 is X-Force, New Beginnings. I mean, come on, that's just laughable.
Shouldn't even be on the list.
No.
It's not even in the top 1,000 trade paperbacks of all time. Come on, Christ. So some of the things there's a lot of good stuff on there, but the order is
Gotta
definitely
take that with
screwed
a
up.
grain of salt.
Yeah. Maybe if they were not
Or here,
numbered.
like that, they have like Kingdom Come at 40, issue 40.
Isn't Crisis on there?
I don't
Yeah,
know.
right.
I didn't even remember seeing. It's got to be on the list.
I'm pretty
somewhere.
sure I saw Crisis in there as well.
Oh, see, here's why Spider-Man Nothing Can Stop the Juggernaut is at 28, because the little description afterwards. This story is also included in the Wizard Spider-Man Masterpiece Edition.
Oh, of course. So,
So
they
they're
want
trying
you
to
to pay.
pimp out.
yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to pimp out their other. And they have Preacher Volume 3, Proud Americans, as their highest Preacher trade, where I think Until the End of the World is one of the better ones.
Yeah, I would probably agree with you.
Ugh. Yeah, this is a mess, isn't it?
You know, the couple times we've talked about this now, and even like this, I keep writing down things that I'm going to have to look up trades and whatnot. I'm getting a hell of a list. I'm going to go broke. I'm going to absolutely go broke.
Crisis is number 80.
I hear there's some good market money in selling kids.
Yeah. No, I love my boys.
You can have another one.
I'll have that one and sell it, but no, the two I have, I'm keeping.
Oh, okay.
I'm already training him. I have Mac going like Darth Vader, and I have Ben, man, anytime Teen Titans comes, oh, Teen Titans! I'm like, all right, and my wife just shakes her head, ah, crap.
Yeah, it seems like you have too much time invested in these two already. So
Yeah. I don't want to give that up.
What else sticks out in for you, Peter?
Like they have.
Sadly, I'd probably give up my wife before the kids.
It's a good thing she doesn't listen to the podcast.
Are you kidding me? Did you just really just say that? You better rescind that.
She knows I love her.
See, like they have Hawk World at number 19, which was a really good miniseries, but better than Sin City, That Yellow Bastard, or better than Astro City Confessions, better than League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which is all the way down to 33.
Yeah, that was another one that needs to be higher up the list.
I don't know.
Anybody read the second one?
Yeah, it's
Was it
good.
I
It's good
didn't
too.
read that one.
I'm actually awaiting the third. They're working on it. I can't wait.
Yeah.
I mean, listeners, I plead with you, if you have not read the first League story,
Yeah, that's good.
read it. That was 6 issues, right? That could have been on my
Yeah, that
top
could have
5,
been.
and it
Probably
should
have
be.
been. Yeah.
It's so damn good.
Yeah, especially if your only exposure to League of Extraordinary Gentlemen
Is the movie.
is the movie.
Which I enjoyed the movie to a certain
Which,
extent.
yeah, I was going to say, had there not been a comic book series, I think I could have enjoyed the movie just a little bit more. But
Yeah.
since there was, and I knew what they could have done with this, I really was kind of
Is
disappointed.
this your only copy of this top
I
100
think
thing?
I have another one somewhere.
Oh, you should rip that up. Wizard. Thanks for raising your books to $5.99, Wizard.
Did they really?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep,
What was it,
they're magazines.
$4.95?
Yeah, $4.99. Now it's $5.99.
The subscription's still the same price, though, I think.
I probably until the next re-up.
Yeah,
then.
maybe until the next one.
How the hell did Batman Huntress Cry for Blood get on here? I mean, I read the story, but and I'm a Batman fan, but I don't think that needs to be in the top 100 list.
Yeah, I don't know. They're messing with our minds here.
Here it is. Crisis on Infinite Earths is number 8.
Yeah.
Oh. Look out, Peter.
Dance, baby, dance.
Now it's the time on Sprocket's Family Dance.
Okay. We got Stump
just-
the Rios.
Just to clarify, this is not eligible for the Viva for Vendetta trade because
Right, we had received this one
Right.
before that. This one starts with a little bit of an email. Greetings from Durango, Colorado. Granted, not an exotic locale, but what can I tell you? I've been a listener since episode 12 or so, and I must say your lovely podcast has rebuilt the geek inside me. I was a comic fan since before I was young. Regrettably, I cannot remember how I got started, as an accident involving a lightning bolt has made me a tad forgetful.
Jeez.
I apologize for the laughter, but it caught me off guard.
Yeah.
I actually already read this email, and I forgot what it said.
usually he didn't acquire powers after
I
that.
say, thank God there were no chemicals involved.
Yeah, yeah.
Lightning bolt and chemicals.
And then he goes, but
Wow.
but after enduring the Spider-Man clone saga, I was defeated and left the comic world. Till you guys, that is.
Well, that is kind of a good reason to leave.
There is a topic I don't think I have heard you all talk about. The long-dead Marvel vs. DC comics and their follower amalgam.
Oh yeah.
I just would like to hear your opinions on this creation, if you have any at all. And if you can please mention, if any, I'm going to start over. Because,
Because Brian just got struck by lightning.
wow.
From then go.
And if you can please mention, if any, Marvel What If comics. I know I'm asking a lot, so please forgive me. Now for my woeful attempt at Stump the Rios questions. I'm sure Mr. Rios will have these, but I have to give it a go just once. I'm afraid that it will be mostly Marvel, as they were what I read mostly. But the first one is a DC question. The Scarecrow practiced what style of dance?
Are you kidding me?
Wow.
I think it was his fighting style. Like he had I'm going to say drunken master. I don't know.
No, it was the Crane style of violent dance.
Oh.
Matt, did you know that?
I did know it had something to do with that was his fighting style. That was from
Right.
the dance that he created. I didn't know the specific term for it.
Okay.
Is that like the Legend of Sleepy Hollow too? Is that what that kind of referring to? Maybe.
I forget. I know it came up somewhere along
Well,
the line.
Crane, Ichabod
Right,
Crane.
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's
And
right.
Jonathan
Because
Crane.
yeah, he dances. Remember in that Disney cartoon? Right. Okay.
Marvel. The heroes Wolverine, the Hulk, Spider-Man, and Ghost Rider gathered under what team name? I knew this one.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, he has in parentheses the new Fantastic
Well,
Four because it was
The
during
Walt Simonson.
it was
Fantastic.
Art Adams.
Oh,
Walt
it
Simonson wrote them, right? But Art Adams drew those
it was
issues.
Art Adams' artwork.
Right.
I actually have a T-shirt. Art Adams drew it as one of the covers of one of those.
Oh, okay. Ding, 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 ding.
Number 3, Marvel question. How old was Sue Storm when she met her future husband, Reed Richards?
12.
Yes, she was 12 when she was a student at Columbia University, and her aunt was Reed's landlady.
When he was a student.
Yeah.
Well, it's like Celine Dion and her husband.
And he throws a bonus question. He says, I'm sure Mr. Rios will not need this. DC, who was the first costume villain to challenge Superman?
Ooh, that's a good question. Costumed villain. Huh. I'm anxious to hear that because costumed villain. I have no idea.
The Archer.
The Archer. Whew, I never would have gotten that.
There you go.
That's kind of cool.
Well, that was from Matt McDonald from Durango, Colorado. Thank you, Matt. And Peter got 2 of the questions, so he's off the hook.
It's a shame you only didn't get one because if you would have done the bonus question, that had negated that and
Yeah.
he'd have lost.
I guess we'll talk in the future episode about some of the things he asked.
Well, we could talk now.
Oh, you want to do that?
We have a little
Yeah,
time.
okay.
We could talk now.
Anybody read that amalgam mess?
Some of it.
I don't even know what the hell he was talking
yeah,
about.
It was after they did Marvel DC. They did DC versus Marvel, and they did like the bullets and bracelets, Amazon, where they took like it was Wonder Woman and Storm was the
Combination.
the combination, the bullets and
Agent of Shield.
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne, Agent Shield.
It was supposed to be that DC versus Marvel. Whoever won, they had like 8 or 9 challenges, and whoever got the most, whatever company, the other company was supposed to stop printing their. I mean, like that was like the. I was like, yeah, right. And then what happened was they just all merged. So you got like Jamie said, you got all these elements of.
In the storyline, they merged the 2 universes together.
Right.
And then these are the results of that merger.
It was
Dark Claw.
Yeah.
The Legend of Dark Claw.
Which was
Super
actually drawn
Soldier.
animated, or at least the cover. I can't remember if
Mhm.
the issue itself was animated drawn, but it was like the Batman Adventures.
Super Soldier, JLX, Doom Patrol or Doom Force, or no, I don't forget which one. X Patrol, that's what it is.
Yeah, because that Doom Force was just
That was a one
another-
shot, yeah.
one shot.
And but like some of them were so some of them had so many amalgamations in the story that your head was.
Yeah, I mean,
exploding.
there were only a couple that I thought that were half decent, and right now I can't even think
Yeah.
of those couple
Doctor
that were half
Strange,
decent.
Fate,
Who was
Yeah.
the Spider Boy?
Spider Boy.
Was it Spider? I couldn't
Yeah.
remember if that was the actual name of
It's a
it.
cross between
Yeah,
Superboy and
Spider-Man.
Yeah. And they had 2 waves of that. They actually
Yeah.
had a first wave, and then they did a second wave, and
What years were those?
Late 90s?
That
No, I was still at the store. I know I was still working in the store when they did that.
Well, I don't remember this at all. It must have been like 95 or
Yeah, it was
something.
like mid-90s. I think you had left the store.
Yeah, that was in my little dark period where I was buying Gru and like Starman and like nothing else. So I was when I almost quit comics, so I wasn't paying attention. I was getting to the store once every 2 months or 3 months and buying my 6 books and going home. You know,
God, that's wrong.
We'll talk about superhero challenges. Like they had Aquaman versus I think Namor, and I think Aquaman won. But the one that killed me was Wonder Woman versus Storm, and Storm won. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
What?
How does that happen?
Well, it was all voter driven. Like fans called in, or
So I really like the one Lobo versus Wolverine, where they went behind the bar,
Yeah.
and you just saw like clatter supposedly coming up, and all of a sudden just like Wolverine shows up.
Right.
So I thought that was kind of like, because I guess technically there's no way you could beat Lobo, just from what I heard.
But
anyways,
I mean,
it's
like
all of a sudden,
it was all by votes, and Marvel
Yeah.
won.
because that's the one we discussed on the previous podcast was Captain America versus Batman.
Right.
How those two were paired to go against each other, and pretty much Captain America just handed over his shield and said, "Okay, you won," realizing that they were going to get nowhere.
I think Superman versus the Hulk. I think Superman won.
Yeah, that was in the desert, I think.
Yeah.
is where that took place.
Shazam versus Thor, and I think Thor won. I think that was the
Quicksilver and the Flash.
Yeah, Flash kicked his ass, obviously.
Oh yeah.
But it was so random.
Wasn't it in Aquaman and Namor? He dropped a whale on him.
Yeah. Yeah, because Namor's like, being all noble and mighty, and Aquaman's like, yeah, whatever, boom. And he plays dirty and just drops a whale on him. What was the other thing you mentioned there?
He mentions. Oh, I just wanted to. You just made me think of something.
What's that?
You just said Shazam, and I was watching the Bite Me Fanboy movie, and the whole soundtrack is by Ookla the Mock, that group he told us about. And there's this one song in there, I don't remember the song, but the lyrics are hysterical. All their songs, the lyrics are hysterical. And the one he's talking about Shazam, and he says, he's got the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, and 5 other powers I never memorized, or whatever. It's like, yeah, that's exactly right. That's about as far as I could get, too. So you said Shazam, and it made me think of that. And he says, and if you can talk about Marvel What If comics.
Actually, I was thinking about those before we start this podcast. The only thing that kind of irritated me is it always seems their stories are always depressing at the end, that you're glad that they didn't go with that story. It's like, why don't you ever have like a positive, uplifting story that you're like, you know what, that almost seems like a good way they could have gone in the comics. But it always just seems like, oh, I'm glad that didn't happen.
I used to read them, I don't know, when I was like 13 or 14 or something, because I read everything I get my hands on then, and for some reason, what might happen? Now I really couldn't care less. I'm like, well, why do I want to guess what would happen? Just if you want to write that story, then I'll read about it in the regular comic book. I don't know. Like now, it has absolutely zero appeal to me.
Well, it's like the Elseworlds.
We're flooded with alternate reality stories now, anyway. So,
and actually going back to the miniseries things, it's getting to the point where I don't collect the miniseries that keep coming out, because I'm like, if it's a good enough story, why don't you just stick it in the regular runs? Why does it have to be 6 parts by itself? It's just...
Well, yeah, I'm more of
off.
a sink my teeth into and just keep going. Because I'm a collector by heart, the longer it is, the more I want to read it, because it's more It's like I can keep buying things, and miniseries 2-3 issues, I've really shied away from that big time recently. And
plus, some of those you invest your time in. Like, I remember Batman Son of the Demon, where him and Talia had a son, and that was, that was in continuity. Now it's, that's an Elseworlds. So that's how I look at a lot of those miniseries. Well, how do I know they fit anywhere? Because then it pissed me off with that Death of the Maidens, where that is continuity, so Ra's al Ghul is dead. So it irritates me that you buy those, you waste your time for it, and they're either, depending on what the storylines are going to be in the regular runs, whether or not they fall in.
What was I going to say? What's he talking about here?
And for those of you
What
who do spoilers, no, Ra's al Ghul's not dead, okay?
What if Elektra hadn't died? That was by Frank Miller. That actually was kind of an interesting story.
It was just one of those, for me, it was always where they stuck the new writer, the new artist to try him out, and it was usually crap.
Yeah.
I think when it first started out, it was interesting, but then they just ran out of stories. There are a couple that I enjoyed.
What the? That's the best of the run.
Yeah.
they have a new What the coming out.
Bwa-ha-ha.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah,
Whoa.
and I ain't getting it because it's like 80 million months late.
Yeah, it is.
F Bendis.
Okay.
Whoa. Hey now.
Thank you. Good night.
And
Everybody
F.
have-
Kevin Smith for that Spider-Man Black
Oh.
Cat. I hope every retailer out there does not order that book, so they're stuck with that book. Goddamn book late.
Kevin,
I'll
I still
agree
love
with
you.
you
I will still love you, Kevin.
I love you if you support
Yeah,
us, but I don't love you
Yeah,
for
but
that book.
I don't like
That's what I'm hoping for. I love you, Kevin. Love you, Kevin.
I don't like Joe Quesada's defense. Well, I'm just happy that he's indie industry. No,
No, make him finish the effing book.
stuff. Yeah.
You freak.
You can say fuck.
No, I don't like to use that word when I don't have to. But it's true. It's like, make him finish the book. It's 22 pages. He needs 2 more issues.
No,
Finish the book, you
uh,
bastard.
For me, it's less anger and more disappointment. It's like I read, we read the Daredevil story. It's his
Loved
first
it.
comic ever. Phenomenal. Some of the best Daredevil we've read in years. So it's
and a
wow.
great use of Mysterio.
Here's a guy who is a comic fan and can write.
Right.
Wow.
He's getting it
okay.
right. He's getting and still keeping it a superhero
And then he
book.
did the Green Arrow, and
Yep.
then that was good. It was
Yep.
like, wow, 2 for 2.
Yep.
This guy needs to be a comic book writer.
Right.
Unfortunately, he makes really good movies that we all like to see, and so I want him to pursue that too. But at the same time, I'm greedy, and I say, I almost wish he'd write comics,
Mhm.
So I want him to write more comics, and the fact that he's not, and he's late, and then he's fucking around with Jersey Girl, and nobody gives 2 craps. I still haven't seen it. I shouldn't say because I haven't seen it yet, and I will see it because I want to see it. But I just want Jay and Silent Bob. Really, to me, he's a one-trick pony. I just want Jay and Silent Bob forever. That's all I want to see.
Bob Schreck, when he did Green Arrow, he said you need to get in 12 or
Yeah.
6 scripts or at least 12, like 6 plotted and 12.
He had everything
yeah.
in there.
And then if you notice after that, it did start to get a little
Exactly.
late. Because Daredevil suffered too in its later issues too,
Right.
and so that was smart. So 5 issues, make him write all 5 issues. It's just
Yeah. And the Daredevil Target thing, same
Yep.
thing.
yeah, exactly.
So I hope one day we get another 12-issue run of some book that he has up his sleeve, and I'm sure it'll be fantastic.
Sure.
And I'd like to see his take on more Marvel books, as I'm a big Marvel zombie, and so, but who knows what's going to happen?
Right.
It just-
And you know what? What's disappointing, like you said, I probably would not pick up another Kevin Smith book until I knew all the issues were out.
yeah, I won't. I certainly
Yeah,
will.
because it's frustrating.
Yeah.
I'm pissed now.
That Puerto Rican blood is boiling, man.
I need to go to the cat house. Release some steam.
Yeah, you don't have money for that.
No, I don't.
What do you have there? Important dates?
If you want to give $1,
Yes.
so I can
Send
go out
Peter to the cat house.
Las
Oh, hey.
Vegas. Oh, go
Hey,
ahead. Update.
that reminds me, I have another update for my MS-150 bike ride. One of the guys, a couple episodes ago, I rattled off the different pledge amounts that I had gotten. One of them was a $3 pledge. And I got an email from a guy. He says, hey, I thought you had $150 in $1 pledges, and I thought I was doing good by donating $3. Here I find out I'm the cheapest bastard of the bunch. He said, so he donated another $22, so he's up to $25. So
That's incredible.
the fans are coming through.
You guys are awesome out there
Yeah.
for doing that. Because has anybody in this room given him
No,
any money?
I haven't
No.
yet. Not yet. We have till September.
Yeah.
I haven't yet.
So I really appreciate everyone who has
That's
donated.
incredible.
It's awesome.
That's great.
And again, all I asked for
Well,
was
what's your
a
total? Because I haven't heard your total.
Well, the total is $180.
Nice.
That's great.
And what, you needed 150?
I need 250.
250. Okay.
So I'm.
But now he's getting greedy and he wants $500.
Well,
Well,
I
that's
did.
a-
I mean,
yeah.
I don't have to raise 500. That's
Right.
just my personal goal.
Sure.
Is
Yeah.
to see if because I haven't even talked to my family and friends yet. It's just been a shout out to the podcast community
And your fellow comic geeks.
That's right. Well, you are Hispanic.
That's true. All right, let's do this.
I
before
think
we
you
run
should
out
do
of
this
time.
like this, man.
Hey, man. All right, here we go.
What you got for
I
important
got
days in
important
July?
days for July. I'm the worst accent, and I
I
am.
was going to
Puerto
say that. He can't even do
You're
a
an
Puerto
actor.
Rican.
I was an actor. I was in West Side Story. I played Bernardo. I had the worst Spanish accent ever.
It's not hard, man. All you got to do is start like
That's
this.
Mexican, first of all.
No, that's...
There's a little
That's more
difference.
Mexican.
Like
It's like
Tony
New York
Montana.
Mexican or New York Spanish. It's not quite.
If I hung out with like some Puerto Ricans for
You need
like
to hang
2
out with
minutes,
the Los
you know.
Comiquicos.
No, they would
El
sound more
Salvador.
Mexican. Yeah, they would sound closer to Mexican than to Puerto Rican.
All right, here we go.
Today in history.
Today in history.
That's exactly what I thought of.
All right, I'm wasting time. Here we go. First work by Will Eisner. Cover date of July 1936 was in Wow, What a Magazine, #1. I thought that was kind of funny.
Shouldn't it be what? Shouldn't it be Wah? Oh, Wham! What a Magazine.
Why are you saying that?
Never mind.
I don't get it.
Trying
All
to-
American Comics #16, cover date of July 1940, is the first appearance of the Golden Age Green Lantern. That same cover date, July of 1940, Human Torch Submariner Marvel Mystery #9 is comics' first character crossover ever.
Wow.
July 30th, 1947. It's the birth date of the Arnold the Governator Schwarzenegger. John Byrne, July 6, 1950, was born. Joseph Michael Straczynski, July 17th, 1954, was born in Paterson, New Jersey. First work by Neil Adams, cover date of July 1959, is in Archie Joke Book number 41.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Who'd ever
That's
know?
crazy.
Cover date of July 1962, Fantastic Four number 5, first appearance of... Oh, Jamie's yawning?
5.
Come on. It's
What,
your favorite...
Fantastic Four?
Fantastic
Dr.
Four number
Doom.
5. Dr. Doom,
I
yeah.
thought it was 4.
Everywhere I looked online it said 5.
Okay.
Is he in like the last couple
I always
pages
thought it
maybe?
was 4, but it was 5.
I always thought it was 4 too, and then when I kept looking it up, everybody said 5. So I don't know.
Maybe it's the first full story was Dr.
Maybe. July 31, 1962, Wesley Snipes was born. Cover date, July of 1963, Strange Tales 110, first appearance of Doctor Strange. Cover date of July 1966, Adventure Comics 346, Jim Shooter starts writing the Legion of Superheroes at the young old age of 13.
That's incredible.
That's awesome.
Isn't that amazing? July 23rd, 1970, which I did not know that she was this old, Charisma Carpenter was born.
Jeez, wow, she's
Yeah,
1970.
She's a couple years older than me.
Wow.
Yeah, she's 35.
Yeah.
Yeah, because 35 is so old.
I thought she was younger than me.
years,
That's all.
Sitting
I
here
thought
at
she was younger than me.
39, Jesus.
First work by Frank Miller, Weird War Tales, number 64, cover date of July 78. June 19th, 1981, Superman 2, the movie opens.
The better of the two.
Todd McFarlane's first full comic artwork, All-Star Squadron number 47, cover date July 85. Mel Blanc dies on July 10th, 1989. July 21st, 1997, Warner Brothers announces Nicolas Cage is to star in its upcoming Tim Burton-directed Superman movie, which I thought was hysterical. July 14th, 2000, X-Men the movie opens. Road to Perdition movie opened on July 12th, 2002. And on July 16th, 2003, Teen Titans #1 hits the stands by Jeff Johns and Mike McCone.
There we go.
And we just made it with
And
minutes
we're
to spare.
running out of time. So, if you have an email, send it to comicgeekspeak@gmail.com. Visit our blog at comicgeekspeak.blogspot.com. For more information on the Comics Podcast Network, go to comicspodcast.com. Big thanks to Bob at GameCircuit.net for hosting the show. Vote for us at Podcast Alley. And we have t-shirts for sale that you can find on our blog. They're $10, postage paid. So until next time, keep on reading. See ya.
See ya.
Bye.
Comic